everybody, and welcome to another episode of Reese's Random Reviews. I am Reese, and I'm about to give you a random review. Today is another top 10 favourite countdown, and do it in my Robert's costume again, because it's kind of appropriate for what I'm about to talk about. This is my top 10 favourite anti-heroes. In case you don't know what an anti-hero is, an anti-hero is technically a character that does something bad for good reasons, or they're bad characters that turn good later, or they're good characters that then turn bad. It's kind of like a mixture between a hero and a villain. That's what an anti-hero is. So let's get down to my top 10. Let's do it right now. Preed from Titan AE, and he starts off as a good character, very sarcastic, sort of friendly-ish, but also a little bit snidey and rude, and then turns bad. But there's reasons why he betrays the humans. That's because Preed made a secret deal with the Dredge, so that if Preed got them to the Titan, he could kill them, and then Dredge would set him, and then the Dredge would set them free, basically. So Preed made a secret deal to say that the Dredge would let him live unless he killed all the humans before they got to the Titan. Although it never happened, because in the end, Corso, that's his name, kills Preed at the end. But yeah, Preed was one of my favourite characters in Titan AE, because his personality was just so brilliant. He had a very weird split personality, plus the voice from Nathan Lane sort of worked, and his character was just brilliant, how it went off from being good to evil. So he had his reasons for why he turned bad in the end. Okay, let's go to number 9. Everyone's favourite anti-hero, although he's number 9 on my list, is Gru from Despicable Me. As we all know, Gru was bad in the first Despicable Me film. Loved to do evil, tried to steal the moon, even tried to steal pyramids, but then he didn't do that because someone else did it. But then unexpectedly, he adopts 3 children, so he can use them to get the moon and stuff like that. It's basically a very mixture of craziness for animation. But Despicable Me is a very funny film, and Gru is a fantastic character. The performance from Steve Carell is absolutely hilarious. I love Steve Carell's performance as Gru. It's just brilliant. It's fantastic. It's insane. And again, he just puts on another hilarious performance. Gru is just, I love his character when he starts off all evil, because he really knew how to be a really nasty bastard. And then very slowly he tried not to be nice to the kids, but then it sort of grew on him and he started to love them. And it was just kind of funny how even in the second film he was still like trying not to be evil, but he just has to. He loves to be bad, but he loves to do it for good reasons. But he loves his daughters now. He's a very loving father. Still an awesome villain when he needs to be. But he's more of an anti-hero now because he does bad things for good reasons, or when he does something good, it ends up being bad. So he has to be evil to make it right, if that makes sense. Can't wait for Despicable Me 3 in 2017. Alright, let's go on to number 8. Colin Sullivan from The Departed. I love this movie. One of Martin Scorsese's best films, along with Goodfellas, Shutter Island, Wolf of Wall Street, and so on and so forth. Martin Scorsese is just a legend. But The Departed is very good because it actually has 2 anti-heroes. But Matt Damon's character is more the anti-hero. He works for the bad guys, but he has to work behind the scenes with the police. He's got to try and make sure the police don't get Jack Nicholson's character. But in the end, he gets the police onto them, and he's the one who kills Jack Nicholson in the end. And of course, Leonardo DiCaprio finds out that Matt Damon's character is the rat who's working with the police, so he tries to stop him as well. Colin Sullivan, who's played by Matt Damon, does a really great job. He's very sly, knows how to work his way around the clock, knows how to get into people's heads, and at the same time as well, he's a caring guy. He had a girlfriend and he was about to have a baby, but obviously the mystery of who was the father, was it Leonardo DiCaprio or Matt Damon, never got revealed. Obviously it was Leonardo DiCaprio's, but I think he sort of regretted everything he did in the end, and he got his punishment when Mark Wahlberg shot him in the head. Okay, let's move on to number 7. Brendan Brady from Hollyoaks. Yeah, it's now a TV show. This anti-hero list has TV shows as well, and as well as movies. Brendan Brady was one of my favourite characters in Hollyoaks. I think he was everybody's favourite. Played by the legend Emma J. Scallon, who is probably one of the best actors on television. I love him in The Fall. I loved him in Charlie Casanova. What else have I seen him in? Oh, Jesus, I've seen him in a lot of things. But he's such a great actor. But Brendan Brady was like his most notable role. Brendan Brady was sort of the character that made Emmett more famous than probably than he already was. I mean, I think he was a bit famous before he did Hollyoaks, but since he joined Hollyoaks, he became more noticeable. And his character, Brendan Brady, is just brilliant. The moustache made a real good symbol out of it. He was just such a funny character. He started off as a complete bastard, really horrible character, but then there was reasons why he was such a horrible person. Because when he was a kid, it was revealed in a very late episode of Hollyoaks later that he was abused by his father when he was a kid. So basically, since then, he's sort of been this sort of. I mean, really, he's quite vulnerable, but he doesn't like to show it. He doesn't like to show his vulnerability. Plus, he doesn't like to show the world that he's gay because he'd rather prefer that the world thought he was straight. But then that didn't happen because then he got with Steve. And also, you know how it goes if you're a Hollyoaks fan. Plus, as well, the competition with Warren Fox and D.I. Walker was brilliant. Okay, let's move on to number 6. Alice from Luther. What a fantastic character. She does start off as a villain in Series 1. I remember in Series 1, pure cold-hearted villain, that's the words. Evil and very manipulative. And then we see her again in Series 3, helps Luther and becomes a bit of a victim herself. Plus, as well, they call her the Black Widow because she basically likes to kill husbands. And one of my favourite jokes was when Luther asked when her latest husband was, and she said he died because she killed him. That's what she does. But she's such a fun character. She's such an interesting one as well. No, I don't think I've really seen an anti-hero like her before. She's really sort of very all over the place. Bit of a chameleon, changes her attitude as well as her figure, and there's also a master of disguise as well, and also a pretty damn good killer, basically. But yes, that's why she makes it, because also she's sexy as well. She's a sexy character, but at the same time, she's got a really evil streak about her. So, but she does it for good intentions, as we all found out in Series 3. And also, her and Luther have become really good friends. I hope that we do get to see her again in other Luther series or Luther movie, hopefully, if it ever comes out. Let's do number 5. Beetlejuice, what a great guy. I think I'm sort of wearing the same outfit, just without the green hair. Beetlejuice is a great movie, directed by Tim Burton, but the character of Beetlejuice is brilliant, played by Michael Keaton. This character is just insane. You say his name 3 times, he pops up. You say his name 3 times, he disappears. And it's kind of like watching a early version of Jim Carrey with the Grinch that's probably on drugs, I suppose you could say. But yeah, he basically is this character who at first sort of helps out the couple, and then in the end tries to marry the daughter because he thinks that's what he needs rewarded, that sort of thing. And again, he then sort of turns a little bit evil near the end. So he sort of becomes like the main antagonist near the end. But he's more of an anti-hero because, again, as I said, he starts off like a good character. He's just comical. He's just there. And then all of a sudden, he then turns evil. So it's kind of like a good to turn bad sort of situation. I cannot wait for the Beetlejuice sequel. I hope that they keep it correct and they keep it like the first film. Great humour and everything. And let's hope that Michael Keaton is ready to play the character once again after nearly 30 years, I think it was, since the last Beetlejuice. So yeah, I can't wait for that. Okay, let's go on to number 4. The Thief from The Thief and the Cobbler. Not a very well-known character, but I'm talking about the original print from Richard Williams, not the shitty Miramax version that they ruined and destroyed and made the thief talk using Jonathan Winter's voice. No. I'm here to talk about the actual version where the thief doesn't talk. The thief is an anti-hero because he tries to steal these golden balls from the temple, and if those 3 golden balls are taken away, it's a sign that the whole city will be in incredible danger. So the thief is responsible for that, so he's the one who technically causes all the destruction. And then he redeems himself by managing to get the balls, and in the end decides to give them up and says, alright, you know what, I should do the right thing, and gives them the balls. That's basically the original print from the Richard Williams version. He decides to give up and says, alright, look, you can have the balls, and then just moves on, and then in the end he steals the end sign and steals the whole movie reel. It's such a good film, the original print from Richard Williams, but the thief is kind of like the best character in the film because he doesn't talk. All he does is try and steal things, but he is very important to the plot. He's kind of like the original Scrat as well, the original Scrat from Ice Age sort of character who has his own story. Okay, let's go to number 3. Stewie Griffin from Family Guy. Stewie had to be on this list because Stewie is a very fun anti-hero. He started off from the first early seasons as a pure evil baby, and then as the seasons went on and on, he sort of turned into this tiny little homosexual baby that's even in love with his own dog. Yeah, it's kind of wrong, but that's Seth MacFarlane for you. You know he's gay. You know that he's going to cause a lot of trouble. So all destruction, causes all this badness to happen, and in the end has to fix it. Pretty much redeems himself in the end. Has a kind heart, but then at the same time has an evil, violent personality. But Stewie Griffin is bound to be everyone's favourite anti-hero. Okay, let's move on to number 2. Lester Nygaard from Fargo. My God, I love Lester Nygaard. What an anti-hero this guy was. I love the TV series Fargo. I absolutely love it. Noah Hawley did a fantastic job, and the fact that Lester Nygaard was this sort of new anti-hero just took it by surprise. Martin Freeman plays this role so well. I actually even prefer his role as Lester Nygaard than I do as Dr. Watson from Sherlock, because Lester Nygaard is so different and so unique. It's just so brilliant. Plus, Martin Freeman's performance did such a great job. Martin Freeman really nailed that role. He nailed that character. I'm glad he never won an award for it, but he still did a fantastic job, and that is why he is number 2 in my top 10 anti-heroes. Okay, let's go on to number 1. Randall McMurphy, played by Jack Nicholson in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest is one of my favourite films of all time, and Randall McMurphy is one of my favourite characters of all time. He's my favourite anti-hero because he's very influential, and he goes into a mental hospital faking insanity instead of going to prison because he's actually a criminal. And basically he tries to tell the patients to sort of stick up for themselves and try and fight against the evil nurse Ratchet. But when something happens near the end, Randall McMurphy kind of tries to save the day, but then it all still ends in a bit of a disaster. Randall McMurphy is definitely not a villain. He's definitely not a hero. He's definitely the one in between, because yes, he's sort of a villain at first, sort of goes into the mental hospital and fakes his insanity, but then he sort of has a heart, grows with the other patients, bonds with them, and then tells them to stick up for themselves. Did any of your anti-heroes make the list? Do you have an anti-hero who I didn't mention who could be on the list, or one that I haven't seen before? Please comment and subscribe and tell me, guys. I hope you've enjoyed this random review, and I'm hoping now I won't have to do any more top 10 lists. This should hopefully be my final one in a while, because I think I've done too many of them. But thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you soon. I'm Reese, and I've just given you a random review.